go, baby. Welcome back. Episode 2
We're back at
of
it again.
Munch Chatter. We got our monsters. You guys already know. It's kind of our...
Get a long night ahead.
Yeah. So we're just going to crack them open. I don't even know if the mic will pick up the...
Hold on.
Oh, oh no.
All right.
Yo, gotta dink it and sink it.
That is...
Is it?
That's literally like an orange, like ice cream pop, like or an orange popsicle that you would get on like a hot summer day.
Did you have a sip? You're gonna be like that, aren't you? You're gonna be like, oh, you have germs. You're gonna make my drink infected. Yeah, I have COVID-19, so no,
Safety
you don't.
precautions, Cole.
You don't have to. Let me give you a sip. That's fine. Whatever.
Well, anyways,
Damn, I'm actually kind of offended.
listen. You have two options. You either just drink it like this, or you get your cup.
You really can't do it. Damn. Okay.
Fine. There.
No.
Take a sip. Take a sip.
No.
Oh, you have your own cup.
This is clean. Just pour some in there. That's good. That's good. Chill, dog. I just wanted a sip. This is 50. Okay, damn.
It's orange
What?
popsicle. What did I say?
They really nailed that. Okay.
Oh.
Well, guys, episode 2. That's crazy. I'm glad we're being consistent with it. Yeah, I don't like I feel like I uploaded the first podcast on I got it on Spotify, which is crazy. So if you guys haven't checked it out yet, feel free to go on Spotify, check it out. It's also on YouTube as well. So if you don't, I was gonna say I'll put all the links in the description below, but that's awkward because it's like in order for you to get to the link, you have to get to YouTube. So it doesn't make sense for me to put the YouTube link in the description.
So check the pinned comment is what you're saying?
Yes, check the pinned comment. There you go. Dang, okay.
It's time.
We got chicken nuggets. What are your thoughts on McDonald's?
The business or food?
Well, okay, we can go business and food.
So I humbly believe that like you can think about like a Big Mac or like a double cheeseburger or whatever, a quarter pounder. Like it sounds really good like beforehand, right?
Right.
But I feel like with McDonald's, the only thing on their menu that they have that I eat and I actually not only
Like
enjoy
consistently?
yeah, I consistently enjoy and I don't feel too terrible about it afterwards is the chicken nuggets. Because I'll have a double cheeseburger and be like, that was really good, and then like
But I wanna die.
pretty much. Whereas chicken nuggets, it's not so like I don't feel incredibly bloated afterwards. It's not totally overfilling. But it ain't real food one way or another.
No, actually I don't feel that way for McDonald's. But I do feel that for Burger King.
Burger King is just
disgusting.
Have you had Burger King chicken nuggets? Don't.
Really?
Don't.
I think I have.
They are so
You don't like
stuffed,
'em?
it's so bad.
Really? Okay. It is like whenever I
Do
go to
not poison yourself.
No. Whenever I go to Burger King, I feel gross after. Like, I don't feel good about myself after. And not that we should. We shouldn't go to McDonald's and feel good about ourselves after because, guys, McDonald's is really not good for you. But if I'm gonna go out to eat, like I want to kind of like not feel like I'm gonna puke my guts.
Oh yeah, because so going out to eat is two things for me. It's a treat, but I also don't want to feel like I've been poisoned.
Yeah.
So I try to find a happy medium, which is like, what's a restaurant
Or
that
a
I
happy
know-
meal.
Sorry. Oh, okay. Pull back at it again with the puns. That is going to be a recurring theme.
It's the one time I've done that, but that's fine.
I thought you did a couple on the last episode.
It wasn't a pun. It was just like really weird jokes.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. I feel the same way. And you know what actually consistently never makes me sick? Have you ever been to Popeyes?
I've had Popeyes a few times. My shop has actually bought some on just like a Friday afternoon. For
They
lunch.
don't grease it up. Like they really don't. I find that it's very. I don't feel
KFC does though.
KFC does. There's
KFC
pools.
has
There's pools.
yes,
Like
grease in their
like
chicken.
it's like
It's
yeah,
disgusting.
like mini pools of like. No, it's gross. But
Anyways, so yeah, with like going out to eat, like if it's fast food, you're gonna expect lower quality than like
no,
a sit down restaurant or
no, for
whatever.
sure.
But there is there's a point of compromise I always find. Try like if your food is gonna be made so quickly, you're not expecting like a 5-star Michelin chef to have made it.
That is a good point.
But I don't because with McDonald's, their burgers looked like they've been punched before they've been wrapped. It's
Yeah.
they're
No way.
burgers at McDonald's, like the Big Macs are
That's
advertised
true.
this big, and then you
Yeah.
get them like or a
But they're
double
just like they're
hamburger.
smushed down.
A double hamburger is advertised to be this big. It's this big when you open it from the package. It's like or the wrapping.
Or sometimes
It looks like someone literally punched it on the
or
table.
it looks like the bun, like there's no patty because the bun's bigger than the actual patty.
Yes,
itself.
that's true.
It's
I'm
like
like, where did half the burger go?
Yeah.
It's just like McDonald's food, like it's not high quality, but that's what you expect when you pay $1 for a burger, right?
Yeah.
Well, not anymore. This is the business part of it. McDonald's prices have, I don't want to say skyrocketed. It's not crazy, but it's like a junior chicken is over $3 now. I think it used to be $1.50.
$1.50. Yeah.
You could get two for
$3.50.
basically what the price of one is
It was
today.
baller.
And I'm like, if McDonald's is going to raise their prices this much,
Make it
the sole purpose of going there
raise the
is
quality.
void.
Yeah, raise the quality.
The sole purpose of going to McDonald's is void because your food looks like it was taken off the floor, like someone walked over the burger.
Did you ever have the McRib?
No, and I'm surprised that that's even a thing.
Was not good.
Oh, really?
I heard good things about it from other people in the past,
Yeah.
but I actually did not like it. It was too dry. Like it wasn't like this. There was sauce, but it was like the sauce was just on the outside. Like the inside wasn't juicy. It was just kind of dry. Like it wasn't. It was like, and there was just like, it was just like a long bun that and then they put like a little McRib in it.
I don't think I've actually seen a photo of it. I've just seen.
Like pulling up.
I've seen McRib advertised on
It's like
McDonald's, but
yeah. Well, it looks so like this, right? So, and so basically, like they just put like a pickle and an onion and then this, and it you know what? In theory, sounds great, but it just the inside was not. They just sauce up the outside, and the inside just not good. Like if the actual McRib part, like
kind of sad to see.
it just was not. I just did not enjoy it. I've heard most people that I've talked to about it don't like it either. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so McDonald's food has never been expected to be insanely well prepared, but that was kind of that's what they were known for. You would go there when you had $3 to your name and you could
Yeah,
like you could get burger, fries, and you'd be fine, right? It wasn't
That's so
super
true.
good food.
No, it's so
but
true.
it would tie you over
And
for the
you
rest
know
of
what?
the
You go in expecting like this is not going to be a good meal, but you know what? Like
night. It tastes good.
Yeah,
Right.
it'll fill me up. Like got $5, not good for me, but you know what? Like whatever, we'll treat ourselves. Yeah, I remember I used to go to McDonald's with as a kid. The play place was open. Grandma and grandpa after church would take me to go to McDonald's, give me a little Happy Meal, a freaking nice, good toy. Quality of toys have also gone down, just crazy. Like I remember one year they gave out books. Like, bro, it ain't a toy. Like, no, I would not.
Wait,
I would
what?
not. Yeah,
When?
like literal like little storybooks. It was stupid.
How old were you?
I don't know. It was in my older years for sure.
Oh, so like just a few years back, or
Well, they did it again after, but they did it once when I was probably
stupid.
maybe I was like
McDonald's.
15,
What
16.
are you doing?
But I'm like, it's just why? It blows my mind. I'm like, okay, that's not, guys. It's not a toy. Parents, if you're watching, don't like on Christmas. Don't give your kid a freaking book. Like, don't do it because it ain't a toy. And maybe if it's like, okay, you know what? Give them a Bible, but then like that's it.
You know what's funny? This is a very specific period of my life. I think I was about 9 years old, and
Sure.
and McDonald's was giving out a bunch of because I think Despicable Me 2 had just dropped that year,
Dude, good movie.
and McDonald's was giving out some like Minion toys, right? There was 8 in total. I got 6 of them, and I was going for 2 more. I went to several McDonald's locations, and there were 2 of the Minions in that set of 8 that no location had. For some reason, every single location was sold out. And I ended up having to buy the last 2 toys off eBay because I was
You were like,
determined.
you were just serious about this.
I was
Hold
determined
on,
to get
wait,
the
how
whole
old
set.
were you?
9, 9, or 10, I don't know.
That's wild.
But like, I was determined to get the full set of all 8
Dude,
Minions.
that's
I had
like
6 of them. I had 2 left, and then it turns out
that's like Funko Pop of like kids.
the U.S. right had 11 Minion toys that were completely different.
Oh, you got deep.
No, I didn't get the ones from the States.
Oh,
I
but
didn't care enough to do that because it was too much money. My mom wasn't going to order all of them. So there were 19 Minion toys, 8 here and 11 in the States. And the ones in the States looked a lot cooler. Then again, it's the US. They have more.
Right. And like
Yeah.
how are you getting them from the US, right? Like it's not
Well, you would just buy them online, get them shipped here, but then
it's like a lot of money for shipping and then
yeah, and then I think I had a moment of clarity after the hype had kind of just gone down. I was like,
yes.
you know what? I'll just go
what
back
am
and I'll
I
play with some Hot Wheels
what
or
am I
something.
yeah, what am I
Like, I
doing
just
with my
don't care
life?
enough.
Why am I wasting my time buying minions from a McDonald's?
I was 9. Don't judge me.
Well, I'm okay, I am judging you. Like that's okay. I
You were saying.
that was way too like
You were saying.
that was really weird. Like anyways, I I I did weird stuff as a kid too. I think I one time I tried to collect newspapers. Like I would just collect them. Like I would have like a stack of them, and then I would take them and I would find news articles and I would like I would like cut them out.
You saw one strand of gray hair. You're like, all right, it's that time.
Yeah, and it was my mom's. No, I
So that was uncalled for.
yeah. No,
Holy.
she doesn't watch these things probably, so I hope.
I'll tell her to.
Okay,
She'll ground
it's
you.
weird that you talk to my mom like that, but
I mean, I see her at church.
it's
I'll
weird
mention it
though
in
that
passing.
just like
Why is it weird?
it's my
Why
mom.
is it weird for me to talk to your
It's
mom?
my mom.
Your point?
Like you don't even know my mom. That's my mom.
Cool. In order to get to know someone, you have to talk to
Okay,
them.
but you don't need to get to know. You don't need to get to know my mom. Okay, it's fine.
I'm trying to get to know her.
Tell me something. You just said the implication was I'm gonna get to know your mom.
No, that's how you generally do it, but I don't need to. I can just tell her one singular thing and then never show my face in the church again.
Yeah, you will do that because you're gonna someone will come find you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
pull up.
You
That's
know
what I
what?
thought.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's what I
Well,
thought.
hey, I got the story blood in here. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, damn.
That was a. Anyways,
What? That was what? What I was
newspaper
saying.
boy.
Newspaper, yeah. So I would cut out newspaper articles and then I would like glue them onto like a book. Like you know those like exercise books you would get in like elementary school?
Oh yeah.
I just had one lying around and I would just glue them in there.
So I think I was also about 9 or 10 when this happened, and uh, for whatever reason, I didn't do so well. And ironically, of all the classes I could have
You
not
were
directly
stupid.
failed, math class, I guess I messed up a little bit in like grade 3 or 4,
Still are.
and you would be surprised how
Okay.
quickly I
So if
can
I write an
get to
equation
math.
right now, you could just like you
Okay,
like you would like Goodwill
I'm not that much of
like
a cheater.
Goodwill Hunting level, like you could look at an equation and just do it.
You know what though? I
I
would love to just
Me
have
too. Have you
the mind of like just
you've seen that movie, right?
not in its entirety now.
Do you know what it's about though? It's about a kid who's just super smart. He's like a janitor. He's like
I've seen the
yeah.
scene in the bar where the guy's quoting a bunch of like lines from this textbook that he
So
read
yeah,
at
so
the
he's just like
beginning.
a rough guy. He doesn't have bad backstory, just like bad parents. Just parents are not even in the picture.
I actually want to watch the entirety of that movie.
Good
I've heard good
movie.
things about it.
But he's a janitor of like a university. There's an equation. It's like an equation of the week or whatever. And if you solve it, like it's a big deal. Turns out the professor didn't even know the equation. Like he wasn't smart enough to figure it out. This guy just walks past, does the equation, solves it, and then just leaves. And then the professor's like finds this guy, and then he's like, "Hey, you're like a prodigy. You gotta help out." But then turns out this kid has so much trauma and like stuff gets through. So he sees his therapist, and then the whole thing. It's a really good movie.
That is a.
It's a roller coaster of emotion. It's a really.
I was gonna say, yeah, that sounds
you
like
try watching it, but
it sounds like quite the journey.
it's worse. It's actually actually that's not true. I was about to say it's worse than the story. Well, in the sense of like I cried more watching Good Will Hunting than I cried when I had to watch the new trilogy of Star Wars, or what was supposed to be the trilogy of Star Wars.
Okay, so I've seen the prequels of Star Wars.
You're not a Star Wars guy, are you?
I'm not a Star Wars guy. Like I don't have a lot of heart for that franchise, but my parents, my parents, my sister and I, we watched like episodes 1 to 6 when we were a lot younger.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what Star Wars was back then, and they just wanted to introduce that to me. And we watched the prequels, and I always knew that Darth Vader was a character, just didn't know his origin. When I figured that out, my heart just kind of broke. It shattered. Like episode 2 and 3.
You cried.
I
You're sobbing.
I was. My mom had to hold me. My dad had to go through 30, not 30, but like 5 boxes of Kleenexes.
To see a therapist.
I did. And then the next week I said it is what it is, and I played with my Hot Wheels. It always goes back to
He always goes back. It always goes back to Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels is the
Did you have
cutest.
the crazy like ramps and stuff? I always wanted those. Like they have like the loop-de-loop ramps that like you can like shoot it off.
So I never bought any ramps myself.
Always
because I made ramps in my house. I would use stuff around the house to use as my ramps. So to use as my obstacle course. I was
you were just like you're like a master builder from Lego Movie.
Yeah.
Wow. You didn't even need the manual.
I am Lego, Cole. You have no idea how deep my operation runs.
Okay, so like your insides are just
What? Why does it always go back to that?
What? Your insides are just made of Lego. What?
Oh, that's okay.
What do you think I was saying, bro?
So, anyways, Star Wars.
Wait, hold on, bro. Your mind was in the gutter for a sec there.
As if yours isn't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, can't argue with that. No.
Okay, so Star Wars, right?
Star Wars, yeah.
Okay, so prequels were a lot of fun. And then I saw what?
Sorry.
You need to do a lot of editing.
No, I'm just wondering who you're looking at.
I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at you. That's the audience. That's you.
This is like you could look at me.
Okay, so anyways, Todd. So yeah, but prequels were fun. Attack of the Clones was just kind of like Anakin going crazy and like, or actually not going crazy, but like that was him mastering his Jedi skills.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones was the second one, right?
Yeah. And then Revenge of the Sith, that's the third one, I think.
It's the third one.
And that's when I saw the fall of Anakin's character, and I was confused. I was like, why is this happening to him? Which, of course, leads up to Darth Vader's beginning, and it all came full circle, and that's when I was just sad.
Devastated.
I was devastated. But then my mom had to reassure me. She goes, "This was inevitable," and I was like, "But I don't want it to be." And then I watched episodes 4 to 6.
Prodigal son moment for sure, though. Like at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
When he takes off the mask and is like, Luke, I want to be good now. And then he's good.
And his whole face is just like disfigured.
Oh, he looks disgusting. It's gross.
It's just everything's gone.
It's gross. But then you know what? He's like, I want to be good. And then we see him in the final scene of the movie. He's like one of the Jedi ghosts. So he's back.
Here's the thing, though, right? Is one of my friends, which Cole knows very well.
Is it him or no?
Well, he
later. What does it start with? Letter
B.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
toothpick. Wait, no.
What?
Orange guy.
Yes, orange guy.
Orange guy. Wait.
Orange man.
It's weird because his favorite color is orange, and he also has orange hair.
And his room is orange too.
That's nuts.
And his dad's Jeep is orange. There's a lot of orange in that.
That's crazy. Anyways, back to your
that I wouldn't say him in particular, but the rest of his family are huge Star Wars fans.
Okay,
Always have been. So they have like every Star Wars movie,
nerds for sure.
pretty much. And they've got like he and his sister have dressed up as Star Wars characters for like a few years for like Halloween or
Who did
whatever.
he dress up as?
I think one year he dressed up as Han Solo,
Han Solo.
and then his sister was
Leia?
Leia, I think. Yeah.
Probably.
Um,
That's weird. No, it's not weird. No, I was gonna say because they kissed, but I was like, wait, no, it's because they're actually siblings. That's fine. Luke and Leia, not
I was gonna say,
not
like,
not da da da.
did you miss that part of the Star Wars lore? Han Solo is not her brother, but
No. Okay.
anyways, point is that so yeah, huge Star Wars fans, and they were pretty disappointed to see where the Star Wars franchise went.
Yeah,
Because it skyrocketed to fame, and then it just went on a downward spiral. Because I watched episode 7, right?
It was good.
Force Awakens. I didn't. It wasn't my favorite, but I didn't mind it.
It was building good things up.
Yes.
I thought it was setting up some good things.
Can anybody tell me what Rogue One was about? I think I fell asleep watching that movie.
Rogue One?
I fell asleep watching it.
I think
I watched it at his house too.
I think it's one of the better newer Star Wars movies, actually. But it's about like how it's talking about the story of how the rebels found out about the Death Star.
I think the biggest problem with Star Wars that I faced is because all the original characters were gone. I just couldn't connect.
It just couldn't, yeah.
It didn't sit right with me.
I think like there comes a point, and I think about even Marvel, where you just gotta say, you know what, we had a good run. You know, let's chill. Let's not do it again. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, there's also a fan base that probably want to see things. We also want like money because they're like, you know, people that need money or whatever. But then it's like, okay, but at the same time, you're also not really making much money because you're just screwing up all these franchises and nobody's interested in watching any of these movies now. So nobody's even paying attention to what you guys are doing. So
yeah, that
was
was
crazy. Well, even did you see that Madame movie, the Madame Web movie? I didn't see it. There's like this new Spider-Man movie that just came out, and it was like Spider-Woman, Madame Web they call it, or Madame Web. But you know what the reviews are for it?
What?
Like 13% on Rotten Tomatoes, like 1.1 on like IMDb. Like it's really bad. Like they're just not good. Nobody liked it. Like I think I saw photos of the theaters just being completely empty. Like nobody even went to see it. And the people that actually went to see it were like maybe
See,
people who
that was how I felt when I watched Spider-Man No Way Home with my parents.
Really? You didn't like it?
Years back. No. I thought the movie was fun. At the end of the movie, I started thinking, where could Spider-Man's character go? Where could Peter Parker's character go after the events of the movie? The movie itself was fun because they brought back.
Good movie.
Should I give out spoil? I mean, the movie's been out for like.
No, you can. Yeah, you can spoil.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, that movie, right? So you have Tom Holland's character playing Peter Parker and / Spider-Man for those movies, more recent ones, because the Peter Parker Spider-Man is in the MCU. Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire's are in a different universe. Yeah. Well, what Marvel decided to do was to expand the multiverse. The multiverse. And so they brought that aspect into the movie. Doctor Strange, his character plays a role in the No Way Home, and then the multiverse gets opened. And then Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, they come back, and a bunch of old villains from the original
films. Yeah, it was great.
So a bunch of older villains come back into the movie, and I'm like, this pays homage to the original Spider-Man.
Great movie.
And then it ended, but at the end of the movie, no one in the world knows who not only Spider-Man is, but nobody knows who Peter Parker is.
Not good. I think the ending was it wasn't not good.
Well, the ending was just sad. It's not that it was disappointing.
It was just sad ending, and I'm curious to know what they're gonna do with it now. Like I know
clearly Madame Web has been.
Yeah, apparently there was some sort of like Spider-Man might have been in it, but One thing I will say is I was actually really excited for a moment there when they had Kang. I don't know if you remember the Kang stuff. So Kang was like this big villain that was supposed to like essentially the multiverse. He was like a multiversal villain. And basically, the idea was that he would pretty much enter different realities of universes or whatever.
Yeah.
And he would essentially the idea was that there'd be different versions of him in each universe that would actually just essentially take over those realities. And they call him like Kang the Destroyer. And so he was supposed to like essentially he was supposed to be this big multiversal being that was going to try and like destroy the entire idea of the multiverse
Was that
and
supposed
like
to be?
conquer it. Or Kang the Conqueror, not the Destroyer.
So wait, is that a concept that Marvel never actually put into practice?
They had it in the comics, and so he was like a big multiversal guy who was essentially supposed to be like his idea was like he just wanted power. He wanted to be conquering. He wanted to conquer
Yeah.
the whole multiverse. So he like somehow he did something with time, and he made every single version of himself basically to give them the ability to like conquer their universe. And then he was essentially it was just gonna be like an all out battle between that about him and like then the Avengers were gonna find out, or I think Loki was gonna find out too. I don't know what they're doing now. I think they're trying to build into it, but they had him in, they got him in there, but then they didn't really do a good job. They're not doing a good job of building it up. All these weird other shows are coming out. These other characters they're introducing that are good characters, but they're just not doing a very good job of it. And then like um even the actor of Kang is now facing like allegations. Like he's on trial right now for like some sort of like abuse or like assault or something. And so they can't even really use him as an actor to play Kang anymore because he's freaking on abuse and he's on trial. So it's
Mhm.
like I don't know what they're gonna do, but
You know what though? I'll say this. So I have a few things I want to say about the Avengers movies and then the Marvel shows that have been on Disney Plus. I'll start with, well, talking about the Disney Plus shows goes by a little quicker because there's not much to say except for the fact that,
balls
like, okay, so you have Loki, WandaVision,
good.
um, the new movie that came out, Eternals,
Not great.
right? So Disney Plus has a lot of like new Marvel shows and movies that came out because after Avengers Endgame, like Infinity War was a huge Avengers movie.
Good movie, dude. Oh,
And then it created Endgame, and Endgame literally was the endgame of the Avengers band.
so good.
A lot of main characters left.
Yeah,
Like some died,
Sure.
some just left. And um and then, the big question was, where does the Avengers franchise go after this?
Right.
Right? And then you would hear rumors online about Avengers 5 and 6 being in the works and how different characters would take the places of different characters. And I'm thinking, not to undermine the actors that play, I don't want to say minor roles, but like when you have the two main characters of the Avengers leave,
Yeah.
it doesn't feel right to have like other minor characters filling their place because
No, that's so true.
for the fans it just doesn't feel right. So with Steve Rogers and Tony Stark basically being out of the Avengers, what are you left with
Yeah.
Falcon or
Which you know what? A lot of those characters are really good.
what is Sebastian Stan's character?
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, that's what it is. Yeah. So the idea was you have Falcon and Winter Soldier basically take over Captain America and Iron Man. But myself and a lot of other people were not on board with that idea because it didn't feel right. We wanted more Avengers movies.
It wasn't for me. It wasn't even that. Like I want there to be another
And
generation.
then it never just happened. Never even happened. We
Yeah.
never got another Avengers.
We never got an Avengers movie, and well, we're supposed to be getting another one, but the issue I have is that they didn't do a good job of building anything up. The thing about Avengers or the last they called the Infinity Saga, so it was like the first Iron Man movie to Endgame. So that was like all the movies. They did a really good job because they pumped out Iron Man, and then they pumped out. I think they did a second one, and then in the second one they teased that this Avengers team was like being talked about. They brought Nick Fury and Black Widow in, very kind of like as side characters. And then there was that end scene where Nick Fury meets with Iron Man and he's like, "Hey, there's like this team I'm trying to form. Would you be interested in being a part of this?"
Yeah.
And he's like, maybe, sure." And then they released Thor. And then Thor, I think, also ends with a bit of like another like Avengers cliffhanger. Then they do Captain America, and then they also kind of did an Incredible Hulk movie, but it was kind of like Sony, but it wasn't. It was an awkward one.
But it
Like
wasn't Mark
it
Ruffalo's.
wasn't Mark Ruffalo's. It was Edward
Yeah.
Norton. But
Yeah.
they did like these character movies, and it wasn't. They did a really good job of making them character movies, but also then having these little like side things that were kind of starting to introduce this big team of Avengers. And then after that, they had Avengers. And then after Avengers, they had like another Thor movie, another Iron Man movie, another Captain America movie, and then they had. I think that's when they started to introduce like some more characters like Spider Man, and things like that. And then they did another Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, that introduced like WandaVision or Wanda and Vision, and even the Quicksilver a bit. But then he died. So my point is they did things very slowly. They did a very good job of building it up well to the point where like it was at first it was just we were seeing different just single characters and then they slowly formed it into a bigger team. But what they did recently is they just kind of went right back into that same life like that same format, which I think would work. But they did it in a way that felt rushed and forced and very very much forced to like an agenda that was like not really that
So
well done.
then, so then you got to ask yourself this: if from Iron Man 1 to Avengers Endgame, that's an 11-year period. So Marvel had 11 years to create characters, form an alliance, and create a one
Yeah,
giant team
it was great.
for multiple movies and create something big. The question is, does Marvel even have an end goal with their recent movies, or are they just pumping out content because we're bored? What's their game plan?
That's what I'm saying.
Question is,
I don't
was
know.
Endgame from
It
2008?
it it
Was Endgame always the plan, or did that just happen like in the middle?
I think there was a point where they knew that they were gonna do something big, but they probably didn't know, right? Like fully.
Yeah.
And then they
So,
started to get a drawing board in and be like, okay, maybe we should think about this more seriously. That's what I think would have happened. But like with things now, they do, but it's like I don't know. It's like it. I feel like I would have rather them just build on what they already had. You know,
but how do you do that when you kill off a bunch of
when
main
you kill off many.
characters
Well, there's still the rest of the
and the main
Avengers.
villain's gone? Thanos is gone.
Thanos is gone, but there's other big villains that they could have introduced, and I think
Well, they
like
talked about Galactus after
Galactus would have
Endgame.
been a crazy one.
They never did anything about
Kang
that.
was another big one as
Mhm.
well. Um, but yeah, I it's a tough one. I know, like yeah, there's some good ideas. They're just the execution's not very good, and not no one's like I'm not excited about it. No one's really excited about it. And it's just like, oh, just another one of those.
Here's what I'll say. You talked about how the previous Marvel movies led up to Infinity War and Endgame. The funny thing is that I watched Infinity War and Endgame before seeing the other previous like Marvel movies for Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, and I haven't even seen all of those movies.
Yeah,
I've seen all the Captain America movies,
and you don't have
but I
to.
haven't seen all the Iron Man or Thor movies. I do want to. They used to all be on Netflix. That was like 6 years ago. They're
Yeah,
all gone.
no. Well,
So
Disney
it's like
Plus is the way to go now for that.
I don't feel like really making an account just to see a bunch of Marvel movies once and then just leave. Oh wait, uh, I'm pretty sure there's some other shows or movies on there that I might see. Disney Plus. Okay, so here's another thing, right? What the heck, Netflix? Like, you used to be so good back in the day. You had
Well,
so
you know
much
what
content,
happened?
and just half of your good movies and
It's
shows are
because
gone.
Disney Plus happened, Paramount TV happened, and all of a sudden these bigger companies, these big companies that are that own the movies because they've done them, would have been giving those rights to Netflix to stream, but then because Netflix was such a really worked really well, all these bigger companies are like, oh, we should do that now. We should make our own streaming service, and so they made their own streaming services and took away the rights. So I don't think it's necessarily Netflix's fault. I think it's just like it's actually well in
But
a sense it is because they are bigger and it's kind of their fault for getting big. But but like yeah, these bigger corporations are now starting their own streaming services and are trying to do their own
is it
thing.
because they got jealous of the
Yeah, because of
success
the
of Netflix?
success, and they want money, so they want people to like invest in it
I
too.
wish they could have found a way to compromise
Me too.
because instead of having one general streaming platform, which would just be easy to navigate, you have Netflix, you have Hulu, you have Prime Video, you have Disney Plus, Paramount,
Crave, HBO, all these different things.
and it's just like, how do you even keep track?
Yeah.
Why not just have like 2 or 3 that everybody can universally agree on, and have all these companies just
come together.
together and
And
finance one streaming
called world
service?
peace, and that's never gonna happen until Jesus comes back.
That's crazy. I just want to watch Cars on the Road. That's it.
That's like the movie.
Well, no, because so you have the Cars movies, right? Cars on the Road is a spin-off show. It's only like 9 or 10 episodes on Disney Plus.
Really?
It's like, when I say spin-off, I mean it's like a very short, like, little show. It's just Mater and McQueen doing canon event stuff. It's not related to the main storyline at all. It's like have you seen Mater's Tall Tales or Cars Tune or whatever?
Okay, yeah.
Same general idea.
Okay.
So yeah.
Jonathan, I want to hear about the craft dinner guy.
Okay, so he's back
guys,
at work.
In the last video in the last podcast, we talked about this guy who got he got sent home for a week from work because he couldn't microwave craft dinner properly. Just forgot about the water, threw it in the microwave, and pressed start. And as you would expect, it started smoking. But apparently, there's been a development, and I haven't heard it yet. So I'm very much waiting to hear this.
So there's not a lot that has happened. Like, nothing major has happened since, but there's tiny details to update the story. So this was last week, right? I'm not crazy. Yeah. So like halfway through the week, he burns craft dinner for the 4th time in the span of
Did you do it
4
again?
months. What? No, he didn't.
Oh,
do it
okay,
again.
okay. So that was just last week. Okay.
Yeah. So last week he did it a 4th time. Now, my boss threatened to fire him if he did it a 4th time. The reason he didn't get fired is because my boss is not the one who sent him home. It was my supervisor. My supervisor had to jump into the picture and tell my boss, "Hey, man, I know you're pissed, but cool off. Let me deal with the situation."
Right.
So he had to defuse the situation. He said, "Okay, let's find a common ground. Instead of just, we don't fire him, but we also don't let him off scot-free. We temporarily send him home for the week to teach him a lesson." Well, Monday, just
Oh no,
this past,
I'm excited. I'm leaning in.
You getting into it now?
This is fairly long.
Yeah. This past Monday, so in the lunchroom, right? So imagine 2 microwaves up on the shelves, right? And then a fridge or whatever. Underneath the left microwave was the cardboard, I'll call it a tray, whatever, but you know what I mean. A cardboard tray of craft dinner cups, instant ramen noodles, and all that sort of stuff. That is no longer in the lunchroom. If you want to eat craft dinner or instant ramen noodles, you have to run by the secretary. We have to go to the secretary to ask her for that stuff because one guy screwed up 4 times. He is not allowed to eat craft dinner unless someone else makes it for him. And we were all bugging him about it a few times throughout the week, but it's clear that
he feels stupid about it.
Of course, I mean, I would if that happened.
Like anyone would.
Because it's like, imagine getting fired for a stupid reason like that. Like, Cole, when I tell you this story, a part of me wishes I made it up.
It's like crazy. Like
I wish I made it up, but I promise you it's true.
The funniest thing is that he has to now ask someone else to make
but
that conversation.
He feels so embarrassed.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Hey, Jonathan, like, hey, can you make me craft dinner?" Like,
oh, you want to know the funniest part? So I said, instead of burning craft dinner at work, why don't you make craft dinner at home the night before? Right? You make
a homemade one.
Get some butter, milk, do whatever. Make it old school.
Yeah.
Put it in a container. Bring it to work. Microwave it. You're good to go. You know what he said? He said, "I don't want to eat pre-made microwave craft dinner. I want to eat fresh microwave craft dinner." I said, well, that's a contradiction. If you microwave something, it's not fresh.
Yeah.
Microwave food is the opposite of fresh.
Yeah.
That's a contradiction in and of itself.
You know what he could do? He could literally just make a big thing, like a casserole dish of homemade baked mac and cheese.
No, but he doesn't want to make Cole.
I know,
The
but
point
it's
is he doesn't want to
infinitely
make.
better.
I
It's
agree with
infinitely
you,
better
but he doesn't
because you know
feel
what you
like doing
do.
that. He's too lazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
He's too lazy to do that.
Somebody's gotta teach him how, man. Like that. That's nutty. Because like, yeah, that's so funny. So
It's stupid. Is what it is. But like,
I actually have a couple of work stories, and I'll tell you one. Um, this is crazy.
yeah,
So we're working. We're. So it's morning. It's like 7 a.m. I get in at 7 a.m. It's probably like 7:45 at this point.
yeah.
So I get an order for a guy. His name's Jesse. And this Jesse guy, he just gets just like a regular coffee with some cream in it, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. It's like a brewed coffee with a splash of cream. So usually I don't really know him that well, but apparently he usually comes in and he gets a blonde roast, which is just a different roast of coffee. But this day on his cup it said he wanted a Pike Place, and so there's a mobile order, so you can like mobile it or whatever. So it says Pike on it, and so I'm like, okay, we're like we're gonna put it aside because usually he gets the blonde roast. We'll wait for him to come, and then we'll ask him if he wants the blonde or the Pike, just to make sure. So he comes, but he like walks in, looks at the mobile order stand. There's already some drinks there. He looks at one drink, and he just takes it. But it wasn't. We hadn't made the drink for him yet because we wanted to make sure that he was given the right roast. So the turns out the drink he took, the name on it was Jenna. And so this guy, and this is crazy. So he comes in, I thought he looked at it for like a solid minute, picked it up, looks at it, he's like, okay, and then runs and takes it. It's not a Pike, it's like a caramel brulee latte or something like that. His Pike cup was just sitting by the coffee brewer, hadn't gotten it yet. So he comes back like 20 minutes later. He's like, oh, I feel such an idiot. Like I grabbed the wrong coffee. We're like, we know. And so we're like, did you want Pike or blonde? He's like, oh, I wanted Pike. We're like, okay, perfect. So we were like, we're gonna get it for you. So we go, and this is crazy. I can't. Oh, this is worse than your story. Um, so we go, we go, and we go to pour him the coffee. I turn around, he's gone. He grabbed. Oh, he grabbed he grabbed the wrong coffee again.
How little patience does he have?
Oh, he grabbed the wrong drink. Like, and we're like, what just happened? Like we were genuinely we were stunned. Like, this is crazy. Like this just never happens. Like how it's like
So hold on. So Jesse grabs the wrong cup once. It happens.
and then he
Right?
comes, yeah, I'm like, okay, sure.
And then he
Then
comes back.
he does it again. And I'm just like, and we're just like, dude, like we're just like, bro,
Does he not understand that he needs to wait for his name to be called?
it's just
That's how like every Starbucks works.
it's nuts. And you know what? Like I again, we're just like we're so dumbfounded. We're just standing there like, what in the world just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
I would be too. I don't think I've ever
Right?
experienced that at White Spot.
dude, like
It's
I also, I mean, how would you though? Like, you can't really. I feel bad for the dude because it's like he's gonna look at his cup and he's gonna be like, damn, I think I grabbed the wrong drink again, and then he's not gonna come back. He never came back, and I'm like, he probably feels like an idiot because he probably doesn't come back because he's like, this is like how what do you even do? You can't even show your face again. Like that's just so embarrassing.
like you literally just have to escape all of North Delta and Surrey. You have to
Yeah,
move
yeah,
to a new city,
yeah.
change your name, change your whole
It's
identity.
so true. Like that's like a Walter White like I need to leave situation. Right? Like end of the show, Walter White leaves.
Breaking Bad is
What a
just
good show.
it's like, you know, perfection is a strong word, but it's like Breaking Bad is just so well, beautifully written, beautifully executed show.
It's a great show. I was skeptical because I'm like, oh, drugs, gangs, blah blah blah. But I find it's a lot more than that. I
But
don't
it's
know.
not okay.
It's not, but it's not as bad as you think.
Okay, so Breaking Bad is a show about drugs, but it's not. They don't do it in a stereotypical way,
No.
right? It's not like you have a bunch of like potheads running down the street and they just start
Right.
fighting each other. And
Yeah.
it's like
It's a lot. It's deeper than that. It's about
the story is well written,
yeah.
but the way the story progresses, I find it's done very professionally. If you can see where I'm going, because a lot of characters are just hotheads, but then you have a lot of characters like Tuco is a real hothead. He was
Tuco is
only in the show
crazy.
for like
Tuco is crazy.
he was in the show for like 4 or 5
But
episodes.
good
But then
moments.
Gus is chill.
Yeah.
So you have a proper
Yeah, you have a
balance. You
good
have
balance.
characters that are just completely outright insane, and then you have the calm and level-headed, cool and collected
The thing I
characters.
really liked about that movie or the show was that the in between seasons there was no time gap. Like the end, so season 10, like season 1, episode 10 or whatever was the last episode, but then that season 3, episode 1 would pick up right where that left off. Like
Yeah,
just gets
like
right back into it. Like
okay, so
it's not like set up, it's not like time gap. Like they don't make you like yeah they're really good at that.
yeah, because Breaking Bad has 5 seasons, but
Yeah,
the whole show,
it's a span of like a year maybe.
no, it's a span of 2 years.
Is it okay?
Yeah, but you know what's really funny? The last the last 2 episodes
Yeah, that's right.
alone
It was a year.
have the biggest time gap. It's 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah.
So you have the pilot to the third to last episode of the show is like a year and a half. The last 2 episodes alone are 6 months.
Yeah, that's nuts. Yeah.
Time was not a relevant topic in that show, and I figured that out. I didn't figure that out quickly. I figured that out around the end of the show. It was at the end of the show where I went, okay, time is not an important factor. Character development is.
Have you seen Interstellar?
Oh no.
So good movie, but there's a point in the movie where they're I'm not going to spoil it too much. I'll say this one thing, and then we should break.
Mhm.
But it's a space movie, and they're essentially the idea is that their planet Earth is not habitable anymore. Like it's breaking apart, and so this group of space people go out to find another planet to like live on, basically. So there's a scene where they find the one. So they kind of they nailed it down to like 3 planets in like a different system.
Yeah.
So they go, and the one planet they go to is just like a completely it's just like a water planet. They land, and um, turns out this planet was actually orbiting a black hole. And so before they landed, they realized that because black hole has such a crazy gravitational pull, the planet is spinning so much faster because of the gravitational pull, like slingshotting it much faster around that black hole because orbiting it basically.
Mhm.
And so they realized that because more time is passing on this planet, because it's orbiting that black hole more times, every like hour they spend on that planet is like 30 years on Earth. So they're on this planet for like 45 minutes. They come back to the main ship. There's like a guy who stayed behind. For him, time moved differently. So he was like 25 years had passed since he had seen them. But for them on the planet, it was only like half an hour, 45 minutes. It's crazy. And then like one of the characters has like kids, and like he has like a bunch of messages from his kids that he has to rewatch, and just like it's just he misses so much time.
So so the group of people that went on the planet, they went on for 45 minutes. The guy on the ship, 25 years had passed. What did he do in those 25 years?
He was researching the black hole the whole time because they had never been that close to a black hole before.
So for 25 years, he stayed on one ship.
I think they had like this machine where you could like rest, like you could enter. It was like a deep sleep chamber essentially, so you could like chill in it for like a couple of years and just be like a deep sleep, like almost like a coma machine.
Right.
He was probably in there for a bit, but I think for the most part, he spent most of his because he didn't know when they were. He wanted to wait for them to come back. He wanted to be ready for them when they come back. So that it's crazy. That movie's crazy because it gets a point in the movie where like all of a sudden the characters themselves who are like these smart scientists start to realize that time is so relative that even they can't understand it. And so like even for the viewers, like people who are watching the movie are like, well, we can't. If they don't understand it, there's no way we can.
Okay, so time is an interesting concept to talk about because humans think of it as a linear concept, and it
Yeah.
is. But the way time works at a consistent speed is theoretically relative. So time moving forwards in a linear fashion is all the same. But the speed it goes at,
Yeah.
well, technically speaking, wherever you're from, time moves at the same speed for you, but it changes.
It changes depending on where
But
you're
it changes for a different environment. So
you're
it's like if we went on that planet that was spinning they're spinning around the black hole, for technically speaking, yes, we are on that planet for 45 minutes because only 45 minutes. Like if you brought a timer with you, it would say 45 minutes, but that's only because the planet is moving at a speed that is
so much.
consistent with however fast Earth would move in its much slower pace in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But because the planet is moving so fast, would that mean that Earth has to spend 25 years to catch up?
Well,
Like-
in that time, it's already happened. Like because it's moving so fast, it's hard to explain because I don't even fully understand it. There is science to it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's because it's so close to the black hole, and even black holes, we don't know much about black holes.
Doesn't make sense either.
It doesn't, but space also is because time is measured. Our time is actually measured by like our orbiting the sun and the moon orbiting us.
Yeah, and that's how we calculate
Right.
seasons. That's how we calculate how many days of the year there are, how many hours in a day, right?
Yeah.
And okay, so would that mean that Earth and this mysterious planet that's spinning so fast, does that mean that they're actually spinning at the same speed, but one is on like slow motion and the other is at like
Probably. It's
45
probably
times
something
speed?
like that. Yeah.
Because
It's like a playback speed kind of thing.
Yeah, so it's like every planet moves at the same speed. Or no, sorry. Every planet moves at the same pace at a different speed.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. This is some like
It's
this
wild.
is some big brain activity that
Yeah.
I can't cope with.
Yeah.
All right, break time.
Break time. All right, we're gonna be back. Thanks for listening. We'll be back after the break. Realize this, right?
Caught me at a bad time.
Dude,
Anyways,
cracking the second one of the night, probably not good for our bodies.
okay, but once a week won't kill us, right? Right.
We'll find out. We'll find out. But didn't pick it up. That's too bad. Oh no,
Seriously?
no, it didn't.
That's a rude.
Think it, think it.
Brother.
First time. First thoughts.
You know what?
Rehab Monster. Let me show them the flavors. Show them the flavors.
Yeah.
I got
Strawberry.
Aussie lemonade. He's got strawberry lemonade. Aussie lemonade. Aussie style lemonade, whatever that means.
This doesn't feel totally like overpowering in sugar. Like it feels
Mine feels that way too.
it feels stable, right? It's like, but wait a minute. How much sugar does this thing even have? Oh, very little. There you go. But is there
How much?
sucralose in here? Like 3 grams.
Well, is it a zero sugar one or is it it's a rehab one?
No, it's not a no sugar. However, what I'm looking for is
Sucralose.
sucralose. Can I find this anywhere?
Mine is glucose, which is bad.
That's why you don't drink this every single day. Okay, no sucralose has been located, but there's a lot of caffeine. So.
No.
I have a coworker who drinks Monster, Dose Energy, Rockstar. Like he drinks like two, at least 2 a day. He doesn't even have a proper lunch. He eats protein bars for lunch.
I was gonna ask if it's the same guy, but
No, it's not. It's
not
Katie,
because
dude.
he wouldn't be eating protein bars for lunch.
No, he's this coworker of mine. He's not exactly the brightest when it comes to nutrition, so he's basically killing his body, but he's too stubborn to uh change, but
Right.
yeah, pretty much he's just too stubborn to change. And I'm thinking, why not just make your own lunch? Oh, because I don't feel like doing that. Okay, well, why don't you just have leftovers? I don't believe in that. Like, what are you talking about? Leftovers is like the best thing you can do. Because you don't actually have to make the lunch. You just have to like take what your mom or dad made, throw it in the fridge overnight, and you bring it to work.
My problem with leftovers is it's never as good as when it
That's okay, fair enough. But
when it
like,
was fresh out of the oven, ain't as good as when you have to microwave it. You know?
but it works. If it works, it works. It doesn't work for every.
It's a
It
good
doesn't work
point.
for every lunch. I will admit. But like, if you're reheating like chicken, come
Yeah,
on, like
even then though,
you
even
can't go wrong.
then,
You can't go wrong with that. You can't go
even
wrong with
then,
heating chicken, dude.
even then, like there's a certain taste that chicken gets when you microwave it.
But if you work in a wheel shop, microwave chicken tastes mighty fine.
Yeah, I guess if you're working
Hold on.
like hard,
Hmm.
like you're
Hang on.
working
How many steps did I get today? Guess.
like 15K, 15K.
Unfortunately, not.
What? At least
Shy.
10.
I'm
At least
shy.
10.
I'm shy of 13,000. Like
Okay.
12.9K.
Okay.
So, but I
Well,
had
listen,
days where I get like 18,000.
I can get behind like, you're working an active job, you've just finished, lifting things and installing things. You're so hungry. I get that. I get that. I guess anything would be good at that point, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just like there is something to say about like it's tough. It's not as good when it comes right out of the oven. And if you've had it out of the oven, it's like, oh, it's so good.
Of course, because anything fresh is better than when it's reheating. That's just how.
Yeah, it's just like the Fresh Prince. That's why we don't reboot things.
Wait a minute. What
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
was rebooted?
I don't think it was, but that's why they didn't do it because
Oh, okay, fair
it's
enough.
always good fresh.
No, I've seen some Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it's just like that was a show
All
in the
right,
'90s, right?
it's all right.
Yeah. Um,
Funny for
very
my
very '90s. Like
funny for my
just
mom, not funny for me. Right? Like I didn't really laugh watching it.
you
Like
know.
there was stupid scenes for sure,
Yeah.
but it's like tier one comedy.
Okay. So this isn't Fresh Prince, but if we're gonna talk about comedy shows, The Office is a great example of a show with no laugh tracks and yet still funny.
So funny.
Because
That's a tier two, tier three funny.
well, yeah, because the kind of humor that they use on that show is like it's very it's witty, but with like a side of um uncomfortable reality. I don't think I phrased that properly, but
Well,
you can kind of see what
well,
I'm
it's a
going
show about a boss who's just an idiot.
for. Pretty much,
Like
yes.
who's just like is an absolute
And
idiot,
all of his
but
employees are like, yeah, we're just
and
here,
he
you know.
still has his job. He's an idiot, but he also kind of knows what he's doing. Like it's so funny. Like
Steve Carell plays him so
no,
well.
he really does. Like he really does. And then you have people like Jim and Dwight, and then you got then you got Ryan, who's just like jock dude, but then just like sucks at being like a cool guy and just gets stomped on. Like first second season he's great, then he just like good character, but as a whole he's a good character, but he's popping off and then he just commits some embezzlement and then he becomes the temp again and then he's just kind of there and really funny. And then you got people like Stanley and Kevin and Angela, who are just like the side characters, but like Kevin's so funny. I think it was like his pot. Remember when he spilled that pot of chili all over the floor?
Hmm.
Like, just so funny. But anyways, I could go on for days about that show. I think I actually have. Oh, I used to. You know what I used to have? The mug that Steve Carell or that Michael Scott has, World's Best Boss.
Yep.
First episode, he shows it. He's like, I'm pretty sure this sums it up. I had one.
You had a mug like that?
But you know what happened?
What?
I think I took it on like a retreat, and then I had it in my like hiking bag, in that thing right there. And I didn't put it properly, and I like dropped it on something. I must have dropped it on the ground or something, and then I opened my bag, and it's just cracked.
No.
And
That hurts my soul.
it hurt me a lot. It hurt a lot. And you know, like, I could buy another one, but it's like my heart was inside the mug.
So
You
it's like
know?
buying a second one won't
It's like cheating on it.
fill the hole of the first one that was
It's
broken.
like and you know what?
Do you get the pieces?
Biblically it's accurate. No, I threw it out. Biblically it's accurate
That's
that
crazy.
biblically it's accurate for a widowed partner to go and find another partner. Biblically it is. But I think morally my heart cannot physically do it. So, anyways, another work story actually. This one's crazy. Well, not crazy. It's not as crazy as Jesse. Okay, Jesse, that I'm just like, yeah, that one just makes me laugh. Like honestly, like how do you mess that up twice in a row? It's like I would say it's actually worse than
Wait till he does it a third time.
I and then a fourth time. Well, I think it might be worse than the craft dinner. No, no, I don't think so. Because 4 times is a crazy number.
Okay. Now you're comparing the amount of times it's happened, but you have to compare what happened. Because with craft dinner, it's just a point of
Adding water.
no, it's well, yeah. That's
They're both
literally what
issues
you're.
of not reading right.
No, they're both issues of negligence. They're neglecting paying attention, or they're just they're careless and they're inattentive to what's going on. So my coworker forgets to put water in the cup. Your customer forgets to grab the right cup. He doesn't even grab the
It's
right
an
cup
issue.
to drink from.
It's all a cup issue.
Okay, so we have to ban cups forever. Got it.
Dude,
Hands and bottles only.
I'm saying. But so another story.
I want to put a thermos in the microwave and just watch it go boom.
What? Hold on. Where did that come from?
Oh, yeah, you're.
No, no, hold. Let's
No. It's fine. It's
it up.
fine.
No, we're gonna back it up. What just happened?
What happened
So
is I created a hypothetical scenario in my head that came out of my mouth.
so like where did it like where did this
Do you think
hypothetical?
the answer to that, Cole?
No, that's
Do you think
true.
the answer to any
You
of
have
my
deficit.
intrusive
You have attention
thoughts?
deficit, I guess.
Oh, funny story. When I was in grade 10, one of my friend's little brothers decided to throw. I think it was actually a thermos in the microwave at school, and he put 99 minutes on there.
Dude, what a
There
good,
was a huge
what a
explosion
funny,
upstairs. He got
what a,
suspended,
dude,
rightfully
what an
so.
insane school prank.
And the vice principal was like, "Really?" Like he had no words for how stupid what just happened. He was just like,
You know,
"All right, you're suspended." That was pretty much it.
podcast. We were on our break. We were talking about how um we were just like reflecting on the stupid people in our lives. Like people that are just so dumb and like out of their mind. And we realized that, you know what, as stupid as some of these stories are, we need stupid people in our world. Because one, we can sit down, we can have conversations like this, and we can get views off of it. And the second thing is that sounds really bad. Like we're using like marginalized people because there's not very many people. Well, one of us is stupid, so
Anyway,
yeah. But my point is, we can also learn from stupid people, right? Like guys, when you're picking up mobile orders, check the name. Even if you're confident, just check it. Takes like 1 second. Um, Make sure you add water to your craft dinner before you put it in the microwave.
I don't believe in making fun of stupid people for the sake of just being like unkind, right? Because like doing it to the point. Okay, so laughing at your coworker for burning craft dinner, we can all out loud laugh at him, and we can all privately call him stupid and an idiot. But at the same
What if he's
time,
watching?
sorry.
What if these two people are? What if Jesse and your coworker are watching?
Um, get good skill issue. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, me too. I got to agree with that.
Anyways, but what I'm saying is like making fun of people like that for the sake of being unkind is just Well, it's unkind and it's wrong.
And we're not being unkind.
But making fun of them because you're shocked that they did what they did, but also
because it's not in their character.
well, it's just so my coworker is really good at saying the most out of pocket stuff at work that I will not
Sure.
repeat for just many reasons.
Because yeah,
It's bad. What he says a lot of stuff at work that makes me go,
like
"Who
why?
raised you?"
Yeah,
Like I think I asked him that. I said, "Who raised you, buddy?" And his answer was something I can't repeat either. So like, I'm not joking. He says so much.
dude, you should think about getting some different coworkers. No, do it.
I don't select my coworkers.
You
I
don't
just work
choose.
alongside them.
You don't
But you know what? To be fair, I'm not. And this was a conversation I had with my coworker. Or with this is a conversation I had with my parents before coming here. I was like, a lot of my behavior and my language has adapted to what I am surrounded by, and it's not something that I'm very proud of. Like I can laugh and just say like, oh, I'm a loudmouth, I'm a tradesman, I'm blah blah blah, right? But I'm not.
Gotta be different.
So here's the thing, right? Most of the guys at my shop are are working there because they didn't go to school, they don't have a ticket, right? Well, they're all in their 40s. The average age there is like in their late 30s, mid 40s. I'm 19. So being this young, I can look at them and say, where did they go wrong in life? What can I do to change that?
Right.
Well, here's the easiest part, going to school. Now, that's still a work in progress. I actually did look, okay, here's another part of the lore that you missed. Um, I looked at school with my parents. Looked at BCIT, I looked at heavy duty mechanics, I
Did you
looked at
apply?
automotive. No, because I don't have my grade 12 transcript. I have to log into I
Well,
have to log
such a
into
process.
it's a website called myed, like
Yeah, my ed, yeah.
myeducation.bc.
Yeah, I know. I have to go through that, dude.
My password that so my mom had a password for the account that doesn't work anymore. So I thought, okay, maybe that was never the password to begin with. Let me try. And I put in like 4 different passcodes. My account got locked for like an hour. So I was like, this is not good. So then my parents were like, why don't you just call your school? And I'm thinking, what are they going to be able to do?
Well, they have your
Because,
file. They would have your file.
well, yeah, but I would imagine that they erased all that stuff because I'm no longer a student.
Well, they'll post off some. Like they would have it in their database too.
Well, I could call my school and tell them who I am and explain the situation. If they can't do it, I'm gonna have to call my ed directly
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, man, like this is my name. Pull out my file. I just need my grade 12 report card because I need to prove to BCIT that I have over 50% in grade 12 English
Yeah.
literature, and that I have over 50% in
Yeah.
grade 12 math. I have to prove. Otherwise, there is a way around this. I don't have to get my transcript, but the only other way around it is to redo the grade 12 math and English assessment exam. I'm not doing
You
that.
don't. No, you shouldn't do
I
that.
really don't want to because that's a long process.
Just find the transcript.
I know,
It shouldn't be hard.
and then here's the problem. You know how I said I wanted to go to school this fall? That most likely won't happen because I've waited too long. There is some good news. The good news is I can probably just go to school next January. So all I have to do is tough out the rest of this year, keep working where I'm working, make a dollar here and there, and then I go to school. But the dilemma I'm facing is really which trade I want to take, right? And I mentioned this last Friday, and it's just like, do I really want to keep? Do I want to follow my heart in automotive, which I
Right.
know I'll
Right.
love? All right, and I gave pros and cons to heavy duty mechanics and automotive technician. Both are good routes, but both are flawed in their own aspects. Do I stick with my heart and I work with cars, or do I try something else that pays a little bit more and is more versatile? And then I kind of came to this conclusion. You can't you can't start an apprenticeship for trades unless you have an employer to back you up. So let's say I worked at a dealership or some automotive service shop. I could use them as a reference to try to get directly into level 1 of automotive apprenticeship. But because I work at a wheel repair shop that's not directly automotive related, I say that because we don't work on engines, we don't work on cars, whatever, but
Right.
because I don't have an employer reference,
Right.
the only other option I have is automotive foundation, right? So what that is
Right. It's just like your
it's
intro.
instead of like 3 or 4 months of apprenticeship, or like instead of like 2 or 3 months of level 1 apprentice, I get level 1 automotive, and it's called foundation, which is basically 30 weeks of general automotive mechanic knowledge instead of direct. The reason they don't take level 1 and just do it directly is because they're under the impression you're not doing your full apprenticeship. They're under the impression that you're just doing level 1 foundation and then you're just going to leave after that to get general automotive knowledge. So what I was thinking is, if by the skin of my teeth I can pull it off, get my transcript and get into school this fall, I'll start automotive technician foundation. Once I'm done level 1, if I decide to pursue that line of work, I just do level 2, 3, 4, and I get my red seal.
Right.
If not, well, because I've done foundation, I have something to show on my record, and I have a point of reference to say, hey, can I go directly into heavy duty apprenticeship because I've done level 1 foundation for automotive. But it always goes back to this problem. Heavy duty pays more than automotive. But then I thought to myself, what if after I get my red seal, I just work for some high-end dealership? If I have my red seal,
That's true.
I
Yeah.
can go.
You go some like crazy.
I have something to show for myself. I have a ticket.
Yeah.
So I can go to a bunch of different shops. I can go to a bunch of different dealerships and ask to work there. And apparently working for something like working for a place like Porsche, like being an automotive service technician for
It'd be
Porsche,
so cool.
they pay a lot more than just some random shop where the boss's name is Joe down the street. You know what I mean? It's like, but
Joe's still a legend though, right? Like
Joe is built different.
he also builds different.
Well, mechanics don't build cars, they fix them.
Didn't ask. Yeah, that's good. I probably like foundation can kind of take you into both routes though, right?
Well, yeah,
So
because
even just to do that, it's a good step.
because it's like
Might as well, right?
either it turns out I really like automotive and I stick with that, or I click the reset button and I go to heavy duty mechanics. But this time I have something to show.
Yeah.
But my plan is not to just take foundation and then go to heavy duty, because if that's the case, I'll just take heavy duty foundation and do level 2, 3, and 4. The reason I'm talking about automotive is because I don't want to second guess my passion just because I want to make an extra $10 an hour. Now that does sound pretty promising. You make a whole $10 an hour more, you'll be making bank.
Pretty crazy.
But do I want to run the risk of following my passion and maybe working for a high-end dealership that pays $50 an hour? I doubt that would even. I doubt that a dealership would pay that much unless it's an exotic car dealership.
Yeah.
But the last place I want to work for is Toyota, because let's face it, any Toyota car needs no maintenance besides filling up your gas tank and maybe an oil change twice a year.
Good cars.
I actually saw a video like that where it's like, BMW dealerships or service departments and Porsche, like European cars, pretty much how they have like 15 cars a day. There's so much work to do in Toyota, and they're like, all right, we haven't had a car come in 3 months.
Yeah.
Because your cars are too reliable. You did it right the first time. Toyota, Honda, you guys did it right the first time.
That's so true, actually. They're so reliable.
My dad's 93 Honda Civic hatchback. Like, it was the basic model, right? He got it in 1993.
Still have it?
No, he got into an accident about 12 years ago.
Oh man.
No, well, not really. More like about 11 and a half. The car, he bought it brand new in 93, and then he had it until Christmas of 2012. And it was a manual transmission. It was, for almost 20 years, he had the same clutch, same transmission. Everything in the car was
super good, yeah.
It was just, so it was a base model car. There was no air conditioning. There was no powered windows. You had to like manually crank the windows. The passenger, so you know how on the driver's side there's a mirror here in the passenger side? His car didn't have a passenger mirror. We're talking basic, no power steering. My mom hated that. She hated driving that car. He got used to it, right? He had it for almost 20 years.
Yeah, you're just like,
everything was the same. He didn't have to buy a new clutch or transmission. Everything was fine because he didn't abuse the car, right? Well, what happened to him? Why doesn't he still drive the car? Because while he was driving to work one day, he got caught in a very bad fender bender driving down the street, and the car in front of him, I guess, came to a, or no, it was, I think he was he was stopped at a red light, and then there was like three cars behind him that all got like one
It
person
was like a
crashed into a
domino.
car, the
It's like a
next person, the
domino
next
effect.
person
Yeah.
didn't. It was a domino effect. Like four cars got into an accident, and my
Right.
dad got badly fender
Oh, that's
bendered,
too bad.
and the car was a write-off.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
I miss that Civic.
Dude, those are nice though. The old like 99, like
I want to get a sixth gen Civic, like a 97, 98, and then just mod it.
dude, it's so sick.
You know what I mean? I almost bought a Civic as my first car.
They're hard to come by though.
Okay, do you want to hear the story about the Civic?
Sure.
Before I bought the Mazda, I found two Civics on Craigslist, right?
Oh, really?
The first one was a 97. It was a four-door sedan.
Sure.
That car was a little sketchy because I got the impression that the owner was not telling the truth about the
As
issues with the car.
most do.
The second guy, the first guy was asking 2,500 for his Civic, and I just said, like, maybe I could get $2,000, but I feel like you're being dishonest or you're just unaware of the issues that the car has. Second Civic was not exactly the same problem. The guy was asking $5,000 for what was really worth 1,500 because of two reasons. His car was leaking coolant and the clutch was slipping. We're talking like $4,000 in repairs, and he was asking 5,200. And I took my dad and my brother-in-law out. He was like in Burnaby or whatever, right? And we went to go see the car, and I didn't know how to drive manual at the time, so my dad had to drive it. He told me, and remember, he had a Civic, right? He had a 93, and he said he had no power steering in his Civic. My dad's exact words were, from my memory, my Civic's power steering was easier than this one, the one that he was driving. The transmission felt like it was a short shifter, so the gears were like very close to one another.
Right.
You could hardly find neutral. Yeah, the clutch did not sound good. It was sounded like something was slipping in there. It just sounded like a
Just
mess.
wasn't good, yeah.
And then my brother-in-law was like, I would pay less than $2,000 for this, but because this is your first car, the repairs are not worth it. So we ditched that. Then I found the Mazda and I paid $5,000 for that because it was actually worth it. The car was well kept. It has like 17 years of maintenance done on it or of history that was kept. I digress, but yeah. So yeah, I didn't end up buying a Civic.
Didn't end up, dude.
I'd love to one day though.
Dude, they're nice. Dude, they're nice. Dude, lately actually the RX-7 has been like my.
Oh, be careful when going down the RX-7 route for
They're
one reason.
nice,
The cars are nice. They sound nice.
but I heard they're kind of.
The rotary engines are highly unreliable.
That's what I've heard. They're not very reliable.
Yeah. They just, instead
But
of
they look
pistons.
so nice.
Yeah, but those Dorito pistons just wear out so quickly.
Oh man, they look so nice.
I do.
They don't. You're crushing my dreams by mentioning the
Buy a
unreliability.
Supra. Inline six, and it's a Toyota.
Gross. If I'm gonna buy a car, I'm buying either the RX-7 or I'm buying a Nissan Skyline. Or I'm buying an STI. No, like a Subaru STI.
Okay, so your options are blown motor, and actually I don't know the history of Skyline issues, but I know that the older Subaru STI engines, the turbochargers in those cars basically kill the motors. There's turbo lag, there's misfires, head gasket leaks. Newer WRX STIs are reliable. The older ones have a lot of.
No, it'd be a newer one. Well, it might actually be an older one.
Do you have like an image of the car in your head? I imagine it's not the newer ones you're looking at. Look up a 2006. That might be the one you're thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those older Skylines, those older STIs are notorious for. Yeah.
Oh, that's gross.
Those older STIs are known for.
But they're nice.
They look super good, and apparently they drive like the the way that
Like this is the one
they
actually.
handle, they perform,
The
it's very good.
2001. This is the one.
Oh, the 22B. Yep. Man,
So
you got
nice.
taste for JDM. I love Japanese cars
These are
myself.
so
So this
nice,
is pretty
dude.
nice.
Yeah, dude. These are nice. There's also another one. I think it's called the Sylvia.
Oh yeah.
Um, these are
No, it's a Nissan. No, I'm thinking of a.
these are nice.
There's another Toyota JDM car that I'm thinking of, but I can't remember the name for it. Nissan Sylvia. What was the other one? Toyota. No, that's not what it is. I forgot what it's called. I swear it starts with an S.
Well, the only one I can think of is the Sylvia. But yeah, dude, they're nice. I mean, yeah, JDMs are so nice. But yeah, you know what? Like I thought I saw a JDM the other day. Well, I see some of those Subarus every once in a while, like the STIs. Just nice cars.
You know
And probably issues, but like such nice cars.
what I want is a 6th-gen Corvette Z06.
Oh, Corvettes are also
Big V8 motor. The LS7 engine in there is a very tough motor, so it can last a while, and it's got like 500 horsepower, rear-wheel drive, Corvette, loud exhaust, right? But that's the kind of car I would get when I'm like 37, if I have no wife and kids.
which will
Like,
be true.
you know what though? I can live that way, right? Like I can own like a relatively small house and then just have a shop
You're good with that.
for like with like 4 cars. Like I can have a daily driver, a car that I treat with respect and love,
But
and then I can produce.
the other ones you just friggin' beat.
And then I have a project car that I'm working on.
And you
And I
get
have my
home.
track car,
You get home
and then I
you
have a
drink
pickup truck for
and
to go like off-roading.
you drink some Budweisers and you throw in the white tank top.
Dude, I can't get around drinking beer. I've tried it. All beer just tastes the same.
It's not I have a buddy and Christian dude.
Corona's pretty good though, I must
I
say.
haven't had Corona.
Corona's not bad. I
haven't had one out of the bottle yet. I want to, but
oh no, the liquor store's all closed. Anyways,
no, no. You know what actually happened the other day? We at Starbucks, our tap was infinitely running. So we have this tap. It's called the spoon rinser, and it's just a tap. It's just like
oh, I thought you meant tap for like tapping your credit card at the. Like, hold on.
Yeah, I got infinite money. No, no. Like the tap was like, you know, like those ones in like restaurants where you push down and then it comes out and then it like slowly rises. So it's one of those. But something happened in the mechanics. It wasn't even fully pushed down, but it just kept running.
Huh. Was it partially depressed or?
No, it wasn't full. It wasn't depressed at all. Like I would press it and it would press all the way down.
Huh.
So we tried like pulling it up, didn't work. And so I was thinking, I'm convinced something in the inside of it happened. And then like the other tap was messing with it as well. There's like a tap right next to it that was messing with it. But it was just running all day, infinitely. And I was thinking to myself, like, man, and like I'm going to like Rwanda in the summer. And like I could like collect this water
Yeah.
in milk cartons and just stuff that in my suitcase and give it to these kids that are gonna be I'm just like, this sucks. It wasn't anyone's fault, but it's just like, man,
You know what's funny about you
like,
mentioned
and the fact that that's an issue for us, but then other people are like, they actually have issues with, they actually have the opposite issue. Like for us, it's like, oh, that is really annoying because it's like infinitely running. But for some people, it's actually what they want.
well,
That's crazy.
here's the thing. You mentioned water, which is Mr. Beast actually did a video several months
He did
back
do that, yeah.
building 100 wells in Africa.
What are
He
your
did that to a few countries. I don't
What are your
know which
thoughts on
ones.
Mr. Beast actually?
Okay, so
Curious, actually, yeah.
a lot of people say that the newer Mr. Beast videos aren't as engaging because they feel like okay, some people say newer Mr. Beast videos are really good because the videos are changing and they're doing so much more and it's very entertaining and engaging. Some people claim that it doesn't feel the same because they do too much in one video, so a lot of videos feel like there's too much going on to pay attention. I agree and disagree with both sides. Older Mr. Beast was more simple. It was like last person to take their hands off this car wins the car. Last person to get tagged wins $30,000. Like it was like basic challenges like that. But that's back when their channel had like 10 million subscribers. They're over 240 million.
No, he's like one of the best.
They have more than 100 million more than PewDiePie.
It's crazy,
right? They have almost 250 million subscribers, rightfully so, because Mr. Beast is not just a YouTube channel; it's a company, right? Like they've got plenty of channels that do other stuff, right? They got a gaming channel, they sell merch, or whatever, and so basically, where I'm going with this is okay. Older Mr. Beast was more simple, right? It was easier to follow.
right?
Newer Mr. Beast attacks more stuff in one video. Only flaw with that is that the videos take longer to upload. So there's less frequent uploads on his channel because the projects take longer to make. And
Yeah.
Mr. Beast said this himself. He said every video, like if you ask him what his favorite video is, he has two answers: either his most recent one or the one that's coming up. Because his philosophy is there's no such thing as the best video from like a year ago, because then that means that our channel hasn't been doing so well ever since. He says every video is the best video, and then the one that comes after that will be even better, right? So he always tries to. You are so lucky that that's empty.
Dude, it's not.
Yet some still spill.
Dude, no, it's not even empty though.
That's mostly. You got a towel?
That's too bad. No, I don't. I'll just.
Do you have a Blu-ray there? Maybe you don't use it.
Oh, you're right. I can just use that.
Okay, so as I was saying.
Yeah, keep talking.
So, Mr. Beast's philosophy is basically how every video should top the previous one.
No, right. That's actually true.
So his content should always be getting better. Well, there's a good thing and a bad thing about it. The good thing is that your fans always have better videos to look forward to. But then you go months with no uploading.
Yeah.
Because you're working on a big project. And his videos feel much more in your face than I think a lot of people like. And what I mean by that is that Mr. Beast himself, Jimmy, his employees, half the time are like screaming in the mic. It feels like it's a little, I don't know if I want to say over the top, but it's like it feels like it's in your face. So instead of just being chill about it and just saying, all right, last person to touch this car wins the car, it's more like, all right, so I built a Willy Wonka chocolate factory. Last person to get caught in laser tag, this person to win Squid Game. And it's like, sometimes that's good because it's high octane energy, but other times it's like he condenses so much content into one video that it feels overwhelming. But there are certain videos that he's had over the past year and a half where it's like I spent 50 hours buried alive.
That was crazy.
That's an easy video to follow because it's just one.
There was another one he did recently where he was like 7 days in solitary, like in solitary alone.
Oh no! It was 7 days buried alive and in solitary confinement. Yeah, the solitary confinement video actually that was the scary one video where I thought he was going to quit before the challenge was over.
No, I know, I did too. I was like, for sure he's done
because he slept through most of the challenge to get through it, which is what I would have done if I was in that situation. But when he said, "Okay, so I'm on hour like whatever number, I've got like 36 hours left,"
but he just didn't.
His crew watching him said he's got like 72 hours left.
Yeah, so when he thought he was like one more day.
He thought he had a day and a half left. And he had 4 days. His time, his time dilation was completely off. He had no sense of time.
Yeah,
there was no clock, and he would get food sent to him inconsistently to sort of screw with his thought on what hour it was.
Yeah, it was crazy. So I did a project. One of my final projects was to study Mr. Beast, and it was to basically try and figure out what is his worldview. And I couldn't. He doesn't talk about his worldview that much, but I did discover. I realized very quickly that Mr. Beast doesn't like ever. He even said this himself, but his thing is this, and it's exactly what you said. It's basically repeating what you said, but in a different way. When he wakes up in the morning, first thing he's thinking about is, okay, let's get to work. Hops on, is thinking of video ideas, goes to work, is trying to make, a video that is going to be better than the one he just did. Like constantly trying to figure out how can I make better videos? How can I better improve what I'm going to be doing? How can I make more money? And then from there he's like, yeah, and then how can I use that money to help other people and be more positive in the world that I'm in? Um and what's interesting is he has all this money, he has all this thing, but he just lives in a crappy apartment. Doesn't have any supercars. He doesn't have much.
Yeah, he does not
He
live
doesn't
large.
flex. He doesn't flex like the Pauls do, right? He doesn't flex his riches like a lot of the stuff he does. He doesn't even like he barely even asks for subscribers. Like he says, please subscribe. He says like, oh, make sure you guys subscribe and do this at the end, and then he just ends the video. The endings are he just doesn't drag them out, right?
Actually, what's funny about that is he's often not the one asking you to subscribe. If he ever if he ever does videos where he like he's done a video where he was in Walmart, right? With like Chandler or Carl, whatever, and they were hidden, and then
Yeah,
they had Feastables chocolate bars just like splattered all throughout
yeah,
the shelves. One customer grabs one bar. They turn around and they run to the customer and they go, "All right, here's $10,000." And at the end of the video, right, like it was a short clip, but it wasn't Jimmy saying subscribe for more content. It was the customer of the Walmart or the random person in the video. He's the one that said he's for real. Subscribe to him, and there's plenty of examples of that.
yeah.
It's often the the people that participate in their videos. What am I trying to say? The contestants of a lot of his videos, they're the ones saying subscribe, not him.
No, and it's yeah. He's not the type of guy to flex, and I appreciate that a lot. Um, cause yeah, and I think of people like FaZe, people um like even people like Logan and Jake Paul, like people who are like making music videos about how like they're rich and like they have all these
It's the
supercars
most generic way
and
to go about your music
it
career.
doesn't work. It doesn't work and no one cares. And I think what Mr. Beast does, I would argue that maybe it's at a certain point for him, I feel like it's a bit unhealthy because it's literally everything he does, everything he thinks about. But at the same time, in some of those interviews I've watched, he's very passionate about it. Like he enjoys the work that he does because of what he's doing and because of the payoff and because of the final product. Um, and so for him, it actually comes full circle as like a hobby, but also like a job.
My biggest fear, if I were in Mr. Beast's shoes, my biggest fear is exactly that. He claims his goal is to make the next video the best video. That's exactly what my fear is. If I spend months working on one project, the next thing on my mind is to make a better project. But you're not really giving yourself any time to rest. That's
I'm
that's
curious
what I
to
was
know
talking
what
about.
is
It's like
his
that's why a lot of his videos feel overwhelming.
like
Not
what is his personal life like? Like I don't know.
well, you said that he lives you said that he lives in
Yeah,
a
see it.
it's because I cut my nails too freaking like
Yeah,
too short
it's like
and all
girl.
my nerves are at like the start of
Like
my
you're like a
fingertips.
girl.
If I was a girl, my fingernails would go from
Oh,
here to your
that's true.
computer
That's true.
screen.
Yeah,
Like
nice.
I could clap my hands like this and you'd hear all the nails.
Well, I actually wonder sometimes, like, and this is no hate on, just no disrespect on women. But like, so when they have like long nails and they like, how do you like type? Like, how do you even on your phone? Like, if they're like long, like this
They
long, like if they're
manage,
like
I
this
guess.
long,
Like
like if they're like this long, like how do you even like?
you ever seen those videos where guys make fun of girls who do that and they just like they tape pencils on their fingers to sort of like
No,
imitate the
those are
long
funny.
nails?
Those are funny. Yeah, yeah. I one time I saw a video of a guy trying to imitate what it's like for a girl when they get in their car. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
just like
No,
him like
I
with
know.
like a bunch of stuff, and then he like dumps it on the seat, and he's like pulls on the mirror, and he's like,
And then
and
he
then he
moves the seat like
yeah, 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 and then he's like
yeah.
yeah,
I've seen.
We love women,
I've seen too
diversity,
many videos like that.
diversity. It's just funny, and you know what? It's you guys can make fun of us as well. So, because men, what do men do that's stupid?
Oh,
Nothing.
men are the
Absolutely
epitome of
nothing.
monkey brain.
Yeah, we're just dumb. We're just giant dumb apes.
We are just giant apes. Going
except for
about-
us. Except for us.
We are high level intellects.
We're different than we don't actually associate with any of those men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We associate with the 1%. Oh, that is far from the truth, unfortunately.
Actually, it literally is actually, but yeah. Well, guys, it's nearing that time where we should probably wrap up.
What? I'm gonna cry.
Wow, don't get that. We have episode 3 as well. Like next week will be.
We have like episode 300 around the block. It'll be here before you know what I mean?
That's true. 300 days of this. Imagine we got a whole year of this.
Well,
that would be a while.
it would
be like 150.
No, if our upload schedule is once a week, on best case scenario, we have 52 episodes per year.
Is that actually true?
52 weeks in 1 year.
That's not right.
Yeah, no, that's how it works.
You're wrong.
1 year has 52 weeks. 1 episode per week.
That doesn't seem right. That's not that many.
Look it up. 12 months in a year. 12 times 4, 48. But like
that's
some
not
months.
That's not a lot of weeks. How many weeks in a year? Well, you know what? That could
Right.
good. No. We have to look at other sources. So it's 52. Actually, there's a negative. There's actually a point there, so like there's a 0.3. So frick you.
Okay, so more than 52 then.
Yeah. No. Well, it wouldn't be 52 episodes because probably the 0.3 wouldn't really matter for an episode.
Cool. You'll see. Unless we upload 2 episodes a week, that's 104 episodes in 1 year.
Anyways, guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. This is a lot of fun. We're enjoying it. Again, we're hoping to try and go for weekly releases, but yeah, stick around for more. Follow, do whatever you want. We're not gonna be like We're gonna do what Mr. Beast does, and we're just gonna not tell you to subscribe. But if you want to subscribe, feel free. All right. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys on episode 3.
Take care. See you then.
Here they go with this metronome, man. Oh my god. Yabbity boobity babba doo boop. Boop boop. A shooby dabba doo boop. Doo boop. A yabba dabba doo boop. Dooba doo boop. Shababa doo boop. Doo boop. Yeah. A yabba dabba. Yabba da bop. Yabba dabba. What? Ooh. A yabba